Welcome to Israel News. Glad to have you back. I said I was finished with the Black Forest fire that took place there in Colorado. And let me straighten this up a little bit. Okay. Let me throw this in, then I'm finished with that and we'll move on to something else. The broadcast station that aired about the wedding, there was a couple who had to relocate regarding their wedding. This was at the very peak of the fire. I mean, the very peak. And this broadcast station, a network, however you title that, was airing how a couple felt regarding how to relocate their wedding. I mean, how insensitive was that? And they also, the same broadcast, the same network, aired about a town, what was the name of that town? Canyon City. And they was concerned about tourism. They were concerned about the restaurant and they open for business. And that was at the very peak of the fire. And I am just totally was just blown away that they found at this moment they wanted to air about a couple and how they felt relocating for their wedding. And in some town, the effect of the tourism and business was reopened. People was losing livestock, subjects lose their lives, losing everything they work for. And this network primary focus point was how this couple felt that they had to relocate their wedding. And some town and affected tourism and the restaurant being reopened. Please, you need to send an apology to everyone that was affected, dealt with, was involved in that fire, in the Black Forest fire. That broadcast station, that network, really need to send an apology. Colorado's a beautiful state. You get a chance, go there. But I'm going to tell you this, they are some of the worst drivers I ever seen on the planet. I kid you not. Everyone drives in the passing lane in the state of, in Colorado Springs, because that's where I was. I mean, people do not want to get out of the passing lane. I don't understand that. Let me a little advice. If you have not passed somebody in 7 minutes, get over. I don't care what the circumstance, get over. If you're in the passing lane and you have not passed anyone in 7 minutes, please get out of the passing lane. You will find out if you somehow will pass and get over. And if you're not passing anyone, get over. You will get where you're going a lot faster and most of all, a lot safer. When I was in Colorado Springs, I tell you, those are some of the worst drivers I ever seen in my life. Some of the most selfish drivers I ever seen in my life. It's best if you take a taxi or something in that city. And I know there's plenty of you out there now saying, visit my city, visit my state. I traveled the world, and I'm telling you, I've been in countries where they had oxes and cows and people on a moped and bicycle and cars all occupying the road at the same time, and a little man on a stool directing traffic, and they still drive better than the people in Colorado Springs. Back to the interstate, please. If you're on the interstate and you're not passing anyone, please get over. Get out of the passing lane. You're not responsible how fast someone goes. That's not your responsibility to slow anyone down. Please, get over out of the passing lane if you're not passing. It's going to all them drivers in Colorado Springs who somehow love being in the left-hand lane, which is the passing lane. Get up out of there, please. Two things highlight here. Two major things that I think affect a lot of people's lives, majority of the people, and one of the reports that was put out that the United States of America have two major issues, two major concerns. One of them is obesity. Second is debt. This is one obese nation and one of the most indebted nation. And you got to be in debt because the government is in debt, which I never understand that phrase, because it seems like they always got money to spend on other countries, but when it comes to America, they're in debt. They don't have a budget. They got to do cutback, but they come up with millions and millions of dollars for foreign aid. So I don't quite understand that in debt thing here in America. Like, we don't have enough money to support America, but we got enough money to support foreign countries. Like I said, we don't have a government for the people, and the people are not the government. We have a corporate government and a government that is for the corporations, not for the people anymore. And one of the two reasons, the two failed plans in this country, two of the most failed plans in the United States of America is a dietary plan and a financial plan. And let me tell you one of the reasons why I believe that it's the most failed plans in this country. Because they present you with a plan how to get out of debt, and they present you with a plan how to lose weight. But you don't have a plan written down yourself on how to stay out of debt and how to keep the weight off. Most of your marketing and promotion and advertising regarding getting out of debt and losing weight promote the idea on how to lose the weight, how to get out of debt. But they do not present the plan how to stay out of debt, okay? How to keep the weight off, because there's no money in you staying out of debt, and there's no money in you keeping the weight off. So they know that these two plans are the most failed plans in America. And most of you out there do not write things down. The plan to keep the weight off must be greater than getting the weight off. The plan to stay out of debt must be greater than getting out of debt. Because America know, the corporations know, the government know that you're lazy. You're not going to write things down. You want everyone to do it for you. You want everyone to keep track of the things that are more important about your life. No matter what. You want the bank to keep track of your finance. You want the medical field to keep track of your health. You have nothing written down. And they know that. They know when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to budgeting your money, majority of the consumers in this country is not going to write anything down. The bank even give you a ledger, and that is one of the most discombobulated manual or pamper or ledger you ever want to see. They give you a ledger and you still don't keep things written down. So they know that. That's people who have got jobs to pay off bills or to eliminate a bill, a $700 bill, and 3 years later, they're still working at the same job, trying to pay off that $700 bill. Let me tell you this. If you do not have a plan, a written plan to get out of debt, if you don't have a written plan to keep the weight off, if you don't have a written plan to stay out of debt, your chances of being successful is slim and none. Jenny Craig, Weight Watcher, and Nutrisystem, all of them know this, that you're lazy. You're depending on them to cook food, prepare it, and send it to you because you're too lazy to do it yourself. Now, I don't mean to offend anyone. That's not my objective here. My objective is to point out that if you do not have a written plan on how to keep the weight off, losing it is not really going to benefit you. If you don't have a written plan on how to stay out of debt, getting out of debt is really not going to benefit you. It's not. You can get 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, and 5 years, 6 years up the road, you're still working 2 or 3 jobs because you failed to write it down. You failed to develop a plan on how to stay out of debt, how to keep the weight off. Those 2 plans is more important than anything else involving those 2 things. So I'm going to leave that with you. If you have a desire to get out of debt, if you have a desire to lose weight. Now, most of you are going to criticize this, and you're going to criticize how I presented this. You one of those people I'm talking about. you most likely the very person that do not have anything written down regarding a plan how to keep the weight off, and you don't have any plan written down on how to stay out of debt. You are the one that will criticize and talk about this in a negative sense. I know that. You don't have to tell me that. So I'm going to leave it with you. I hope, again, I'm not here, and I apologize if it sounds like I'm attacking, or truly I'm not here to offend anyone. The purpose of this news thing is to bring some helpful comments, to bring something for you to think about, to evaluate. Remember, please don't leave your comment. Don't post your comments. If something I say makes sense to you, pass it on. If it don't make sense, let it go. Find the things out there that can help you and use it. There's plenty of things out there are destructive and don't make sense. Don't waste your time talking about things that's not going to help you. Please don't. Give it up. Stop being brainwashed, being led around how other people want you to think. Learn to think for yourself. Learn to plan for yourself. Learn to write things down about yourself. I'm going to leave this with you again as I reiterate. If you don't have a plan, if your plan to stay out of debt, it got to be greater than getting out of debt. The plan to keep the weight off must be greater than losing the weight. If you try that, I guarantee you, without a doubt, I believe you will be successful in reaching your goal. This is Let's Get Real News. And Let's Get Real News. I'm sorry. It's a real news. Sorry about that. So, I apologize to Let's Get Real. Didn't mean to steal your thunder, okay? It's a real news. Remember, be good to life. Life will be good to you. The words you use throughout your day will have an effect upon you at the end of your day. Be good to life, and life will be good to you. God bless. See ya.